Welcome back into Live Now. I'm Austin Westfall. Some sad news to report on this Friday evening. We're hearing that boxing legend George Foreman has died at the age of 76.
To breaking news that boxing legend George Foreman has died at the age of 76.
A powerhouse in the ring, a preacher outside of it. A man who defied the odds not once but twice. George Foreman wasn't just a boxer, he was a legend. From Olympic gold to the world heavyweight title, from losing it all to making the greatest comeback in sports history, his journey was nothing short of extraordinary. And now, at 76, the world says goodbye to a man whose fists shook the ring and whose faith touched hearts. Today we remember the life and legacy of the one and only George Foreman. Born in the depths of poverty in Marshall, Texas in 1949, George Foreman's early years were defined by hardship and struggle. Growing up in Houston's Fifth Ward, an area he referred to as the Bloody Fifth, violence and crime were everyday realities. Every weekend someone got killed, Foreman once told Esquire in 2006, reflecting on his challenging upbringing. Financial difficulties plagued his family, leading a young Foreman to drop out of high school at just 15 years old. For a time, he found himself involved in petty crime, seemingly destined for a life on the streets. However, a crucial turning point came at age 16 when he enrolled in the Job Corps program, a decision that would alter the trajectory of his life. There, he not only earned his GED, but also learned practical trades like carpentry and bricklaying. Most importantly, it was during this period that he discovered boxing. "I went into boxing at the age of 17 to lose weight and become a great street fighter," Foreman later revealed to Ringside Report. "Next thing I know, I was fighting as a Golden Glover. It basically all happened as an accident." This accident would lead to one of the most storied careers in boxing history. Foreman's athletic prowess quickly became evident, culminating in a gold medal victory at the 1968 Mexico City Olympic Games when he was just 19 years old. That moment of triumph became iconic, not just for the win, but for what followed. Foreman proudly carrying an American flag around the ring. "Winning that gold medal at the end, I wanted the whole world to know where I was from. So I picked up a small American flag and paraded around the ring to make sure they knew," he recalled in 2023. "This was my chance to represent my country. That was greater to me than even winning the boxing matches." Building on his Olympic success, Foreman turned professional in 1969, embarking on an extraordinary run of dominance. He won all 13 fights in his debut year and continued his undefeated streak with 12 more victories in 1970. By the end of 1971, Foreman had compiled an impressive 32-0 record, establishing himself as the #1 heavyweight contender in the world. The pinnacle of his early career came in 1973 during the Sunshine Showdown, when he faced the formidable world heavyweight champion Joe Frazier. Despite his outward confidence, Foreman later admitted, "I didn't fear anyone except Joe Frazier. I hoped something would have happened to him before I'd ever fight for the title." Nevertheless, Foreman dominated the match, securing a knockout victory that shocked the boxing world and earned him the heavyweight championship. After successfully defending his title against Jose Roman and Ken Norton, Foreman faced Muhammad Ali in 1974 in the legendary Rumble in the Jungle in Zaire, now Democratic Republic of Congo. The fight, believed to be the most watched live television broadcast of its time, saw Foreman lose his title to Ali in a stunning upset that would become one of boxing's most iconic moments. Foreman's personal journey was as eventful as his professional one. He was married 5 times. To Adrienne Calhoun, 1971 to 1974. Cynthia Lewis, 1977 to 1979. Sharon Goodson, 1981 to 1982. Andrea Skeet, 1982 to 1985. And finally, Mary Joan Martelli, whom he married in 1985 and remained with until his death. Family was central to Foreman's life. He fathered 12 children, including 7 daughters: Natalia, Leola, Michi, Isabella, Courtney, Georgetta, and Frida, who tragically passed away in 2019. In a quirky but endearing decision that became part of his persona, Foreman named all 5 of his sons George Edward Foreman, explaining that he wanted them to share a special bond. After retiring from boxing in 1977, Foreman experienced a profound spiritual transformation following a near-death experience after his final match. He became a born-again Christian and was ordained as a minister, establishing the Church of the Lord Jesus Christ in Houston, where he regularly preached. However, financial difficulties eventually forced him to make difficult decisions. By the late 1980s, Foreman faced serious economic challenges that threatened his ministry and lifestyle. These financial pressures would lead to one of the most unexpected comebacks in sports history. On March 21, 2025, George Foreman peacefully passed away surrounded by his loved ones. His family shared the news with the world through a heartfelt statement. "Our hearts are broken. With profound sorrow, we announce the passing of our beloved George Edward Foreman Sr., who peacefully departed on March 21, 2025, surrounded by loved ones." A devout preacher, a devoted husband, a loving father, and a proud grand and great-grandfather, he lived a life marked by unwavering faith, humility, and purpose. While specific details about the cause of his death have not been disclosed, the family has requested privacy during this difficult time, as they honor the extraordinary life of a man they were blessed to call their own. Foreman's legacy extends far beyond his achievements in the boxing ring. His remarkable career included 76 wins, with 68 knockouts against just 5 losses. He made history twice as heavyweight champion, first in 1973 at age 24, and then again in 1994 at the astonishing age of 45, becoming the oldest heavyweight champion in boxing history. His 1987 comeback at age 38 after a decade-long retirement defied all expectations. "It was like, I did it once, I'm going to have to do it again," Foreman explained to USA Today. "It was the only profession I knew. Sometimes I wished I'd been a golfer. It's much easier than boxing." Despite losing title fights against Evander Holyfield, 1991, and Tommy Morrison, 1993, his perseverance paid off when he knocked out Michael Moorer in 1994 to reclaim the championship 20 years after losing it to Ali. Perhaps even more impressive than his boxing comeback was Foreman's reinvention as an entrepreneur. The George Foreman Grill, launched in 1994, became one of the most successful kitchen appliances in history, with over 100 million units sold worldwide. What began as a suggestion from his attorney, "George, you're making other people wealthy. Why don't you make yourself wealthy?" turned into a financial empire that eclipsed his boxing earnings. Foreman's transformation from the intimidating, scowling boxer of the 1970s to the smiling, affable pitchman and minister of later years represented a remarkable personal evolution that resonated with the public. His infectious positivity and entrepreneurial success made him a beloved figure across generations, even appearing on shows like The Masked Singer in 2022 and executive producing his own biopic, Big George Foreman: The Miraculous Story of the Once and Future Heavyweight Champion of the World, released in 2023. George Foreman's life story embodies the quintessential American journey of reinvention and redemption. From poverty-stricken beginnings and teenage delinquency, he rose to become an Olympic gold medalist and 2-time heavyweight champion. After facing defeat and financial ruin, he transformed himself spiritually, returned to the ring in his 40s to reclaim glory, and then built a business empire while becoming a beloved cultural icon. Beyond his championships and commercial success, Foreman's greatest achievement may be his personal transformation. From an intimidating fighter known for his ferocity, to a joyful minister and grandfather figure cherished by millions. His unshakable faith, resilience in the face of adversity, and ability to reinvent himself time and again serve as an inspiration to people worldwide. George Foreman's story proves that resilience and faith can turn any setback into a comeback. His legacy lives on in the ring, in his words, and in the millions he inspired. What's your favorite George Foreman moment? Was it his legendary win against Joe Frazier, his epic comeback at 45, or his larger-than-life personality outside the ring? Let us know in the comments below. And if you love stories of legendary athletes and their incredible journeys, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Rest in power, champ.